All right, hi there guys. This is Mrs. Fisher and I am going to teach you how to make mini 3D models of plant and animal cells. You are going to be doing this lab almost exactly the way I'm doing it. So follow my directions after you watch this video. What you first need are 2 pieces of pink foam paper. And you're going to take those and you are going to turn them into, one is going to be a circle for the animal cell or some sort of circular shape, and the other one is going to be a square or rectangle to represent your plant cell. So make sure you take scissors and carefully, you can trace an image or just start to cut. Make sure that they're nice and big so that you can clearly label everything once you put them onto the poster board. So here's my circle for my animal cell. I'm going to put that to the side, and I'm going to cut some sort of rectangle out. I might even curve the edges a little bit. And there we go. We have my plant and my animal cell bases. Now what this pink is going to represent is the cytoplasm. Remember, cytoplasm is that jelly-like kind of substance that's going to keep everything connected inside. So you're also going to need to take your glue and you're going to need to carefully put just a little bit on the back to glue them to the paper. Make sure that when you're putting them on the paper that they are somewhat spaced apart so that you can label things. You're also going to need to draw some stuff around the edges. Remember, you don't need to put a whole lot of glue on the back of anything. Just a few couple of dots will work. Make sure it's pressed down onto your poster paper, and then do the same thing with your other cell. Couple of dots of glue. If they start to come apart later, we can always add more. Okay, then you're going to need to take a marker or a pen and carefully write cytoplasm inside the actual cytoplasm of the cell. Then you can take any 2 other colors you'd like, preferably not pink over top of pink, and draw a outline for the cell membrane. Okay, I'm going to use red for my cell membrane, and I'm going to draw a nice border around my pink foam. It might actually get on top of the foam, and that's okay as well, but make sure you have a nice border to show your cell membrane. It's okay if it's a little messy because of your glue moving your foam around. Do the best you can. And use the exact same color for your other cell. Once your cell membrane is done, we'll label it, but for the plant cell, we also have to add a cell wall. So using a different color marker, you're going to go around that cell membrane and draw another border so that we can tell that it is a cell wall. You can make this border darker, bigger, to show that it is something different than the membrane. All the way around your plant cell. Do not draw one around your animal cell. Animal cells do not have cell walls. They just have cell membranes. Okay, once you've done that, you are going to need to take your blue foam. And you are going to need to make some vacuoles for your cells. Remember that in the plant cell, you have a larger vacuole than you do in your animal cell. So you can make 2 or 3 smaller vacuoles for your animal and a much larger one for your plant. So take your foam and carefully cut out whatever little shapes you'd like. I'm going to use circular-ish shapes for my animal cell. And I'm going to use a more oblong-y shape for the plant cell. And you can always adjust before you glue anything down what it looks like. If you don't like the way it looks, you can always make another one. Like, I don't think this is big enough, so I'm gonna make a different vacuole. It needs to be nice and big because it helps keep the plant cell shape. There we go. Almost looks like a heart. That's much better. So then once you have it placed where you'd like, flip it over, add some glue. And glue it into place. And then do the same thing with your animal cell. With my animal cell ones, they're a little bit smaller, so probably one dot will work. They almost look like little eyes there, I guess. After you've done your blue for the vacuoles, you are going to need to make some chloroplasts for your plant cell using some green foam. So you can make little rectangle shapes, little rounded rectangles for your chloroplasts. 2 or 3 will work. You can always adjust the shape. And then make sure that you glue them down. Okay, so now we have our chloroplasts done on our plant cell. Now, the cell wall and the chloroplasts are one of the few things that are different between our plant and our plant and animal cells. But let's try to remember what some of those other differences are. In our animal cell, we have something called lysosomes, whereas in our plant cell, we don't. So we need to make sure that we don't put those in. But we can add a couple here later on if we have time. We're really focusing on those main key differences here. We also know that in both plant and animal cells, they have ribosomes, but the ribosomes are also connected to the endoplasmic reticulum, which surrounds the nucleus. So we need to take orange foam. We need to make our nucleus. Nuclei, plural nucleus, are going to be circle shapes. So as best of a circle as you can get. One circle for the animal and one circle for the plant. Now you have to do your best when you're gluing things down so that they all fit within the pink cytoplasm. Nothing should be off of the cytoplasm, okay? So I'm going to put my nuclei onto the cells. And we know inside of the nucleus is a nucleolus. We're not going to add that with foam. You can draw it later. We're not drawing our endoplasmic reticulum either for this activity. And there we have our nucleus on both plant and animal cells. So we also have yellow foam, which we need to use for our mitochondria. Remember, our mitochondria are like the batteries. They help give the cell energy. So you can make little rectangle shapes for your mitochondria. Only about 2 or so in each cell is good. And with those, we can draw on them as well. Put them around in our cell. And you can't forget to label. So you are more than welcome to label as you go through the process. You can also label once everything's been done at the end, as long as you remember what organelles are which color. So we have our nucleus in orange, our vacuoles in blue, our cytoplasm we already have labeled is in the pink, our yellow are the mitochondria, and over here in the plant cell we have green for our chloroplasts. We also have a cell wall, a cell membrane, and a cell wall. So I'm going to take a minute or two, and I'm going to finish labeling, making sure I write nice and neatly. Yes, you can use print. I know that will be a question. And yes, you should be labeling everything on both cells. You can always kind of draw little weird arrows. If you'd rather make a key, you can always make a key. So that we know what we're looking at. Or you can write on top of the foam. Gotta make sure I label everything. Okay, so these are the key differences and the key parts that we're going to put onto these cells. Once you've had everything labeled, you can sit there and draw, little squiggle lines to show that those are mitochondria. If you wanted to add the nucleolus, you could add some sort of little dots to show for the chloroplasts. Add little ribosomes throughout the cell in the cytoplasm once you've had everything labeled. Before you turn in this project, you need to make sure that your name and your homeroom, first and last name, are found somewhere on the poster, and that you have clearly identified which of your models is the plant and which one is the animal cell. Okay? Feel free to keep watching this video, rewatch it as you are working through your models, and if you have questions that you can't find answered here in the videos, feel free to find me in class and ask me those questions. Have fun. Bye.